Hi, welcome to episode 45 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. I'm Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, which is where this episode and every episode's show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn, where I sell my hand-woven scarves and hand-spun yarns. And finally, we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea, and I would love it if you came over and joined us. So hi, welcome back. It is Sunday, June 28th. And if you are just joining me for the first time, thank you. I hope that you will enjoy the podcast. And if you are coming back to spend time with me again, I appreciate that very much. And I look forward to sharing what I'm doing with you. I hope you've all had a good week. We did. It was sort of a little bit all over the place in terms of the weather, but the weekend has been absolutely beautiful. The week was pretty busy, and I feel like I didn't get a lot done in terms of knitting and spinning. There was just so much going on, and I'm prepping the house because we're going to have house guests on and off for the next couple weeks. But I got a few things done, and I started a few other things, and I'm gearing up for my July 1st cast-ons. And so that is kind of what's going on this week. It has been a wonderful weekend so far. We had storms Thursday and Friday, and everything cooled off. So it has been 75, 80, and breezy. And yesterday I spent almost the whole day outside, which I'm regretting a little bit today. We went out and did yard work in the morning because the weather was seasonable, and we had really been neglecting cutting things back. There's been so much rain, and everything is totally overgrown. The trees around the upstart trees around our deck were pretty much taking it over, and the steps down to the ground were completely taken over with these sort of viney things that come every summer. So we spent a lot of time cutting and chopping and dragging things over to the burn pile. We do live outside of Kansas City proper, and so we can obtain a burn permit and burn in our yard, which we will have to do at some point. But we cut and dragged and did a whole bunch of stuff, and I came in I was out from about 10 to noon, and I came in and I was tired, and we keep Gatorade in the fridge just for when we work outside because we sweat a lot in the sun, and so that gives us a little extra oomph when we get back inside. So we did that. And then Wes suggested that we go out to lunch for ice cream. And I try not to do that, but yard work days, when we get all overheated, it's the perfect time. So we went and we had some ice cream. And then he wanted to fly one of his planes. He flies radio-controlled planes. So he went out and did that, and I sat in the car and opened all the windows and got a beautiful breeze going, and I sat and knitted for a while in the car while he flew. So that part was really nice. And then he really wanted to go out and walk some more because neither of us had our 10,000 steps for the day. And I relented and went out with him, and we took a long walk outside and both got 10,000 steps for the day. So by the time I got home, it was almost 7 o'clock. And I hadn't really sat down and crafted for the day. I had a whole bunch to do. And then today, actually, I am recording early. And as soon as I am done recording, I'm going to pack up the car, and it is our monthly spinning meeting. So we're going to someone's house, and actually this time it's in the Kansas City area. It's kind of a big chunk of eastern Kansas. So sometimes I'm going an hour or two away. Today I'm going about 45 minutes up north. So I'm getting ready to go spin the afternoon away, which will be fabulous because I have not gotten a lot of spinning done. So that is kind of my weekend. It has been kind of a whirlwind. And then my nephew gets here Tuesday night, and then my in-laws are coming for the July 4th weekend. So it promises to be kind of crazy. I'm hoping I will get a podcast in next weekend. I'll probably just have to go hide in the back bedroom and record. But that is what's going on here. So I hope you are having a wonderful summer. And let's, now that I've chit-chatted your ear off, let's get into the show. Today I am sipping Sunny Orange Ginger Tea from Stash Tea. It was given to me in a swap package. I confess I don't remember which one, but you know who you are. And I thought I would give it a try today. And I am enjoying it iced in my Tervis mug. I made the single cup of tea and poured it over, and actually the ice is all completely melted now, so I guess it's not iced, it's just cool. And that is what I'm drinking today. And it tastes delicious. It is perfect iced, really refreshing. Like I said, orange peel, ginger root, hibiscus, licorice root, safflower, orange oil, and citric acid. And it is delicious. I had a little mishap with the sugar. I poured a little too much in, so it's super sweet, which I'm sure it's not, but it is really light and refreshing, and I'm very much enjoying it, so thank you. So let's get on to the knits. The first thing that I have to show you that's finished was almost finished last week. This is the Boy Sweater by Lisa Chemery, and I knit it in Cascade 220 Superwash. It is a cute sweater that comes in a variety of kids' sizes. It is a paid-for pattern. I believe it was $6. And it is this cute top-down raglan with some cable details and a beautiful shawl collar. And actually, it still needs a button. I have the button picked out, but I haven't put it on there. But this will give you a little bit better. That's pretty color accurate, but it is just a super cute sweater. And this is for my husband's boss, who is expecting a little baby in August. I knit it in the 6-month size so that it would be good for winter this year. So that is completely finished and off the needles, and I will add that button and get that packaged up and sent out. And that is the end of that. So then I told you that since I had some time to kill before the end of the month and July 1st started, I was going to knit some socks for Roxy. And I did. I got 2 pairs done. I would like to do one more. I used, it's called the Super Sock Calculator, and it is by, hang on just a second, Henriette Rue Cunliffe, I think is how you pronounce it. It is a free pattern, and it provided both some guidance in terms of size of toddler feet, and it also allowed you to sort of put in your numbers and generate how many stitches you would need, how long you'd need to knit for, etc. So I used that, and this is the first pair of socks. This is Hedgehog Fibers, their twist sock, which is a BFL nylon base, and this is in the colorway Pistachio, and I just did rounded toe, knit up to where it said to, did a fish lips kiss heel, and then continued up and did 2x2 ribbing at the top. So that is pair number 1, and I just love them. They are adorable, and they went super fast. So that is pair number 1. Pair number 2 is a super fun stripy set. These are out of Knitterly Things Vesper in her Superwash Merino nylon base, which is my first time trying it, and it is really nice and sturdy, and I really think it's going to make a good wearing sock. The colorway name is Isla, and actually, as I mentioned, she had posted a photo of it, and I was the one who suggested the winning name. These, I actually also used the Vanilla Bean stripe sock pattern, which is by Emily O'Grady, for the slipped stitches, and I only did it on the front of the sock and the foot. And actually, I am so tickled by these, I think I'm going to make myself a matching pair. So that is one of the things that I'm planning to cast on in the not too distant future, so that I will have a pair of socks like Roxy's. And actually, I'm hoping to finish one sock at least before I give these to her, because I would love to take a picture of the regular size socks and the mini-me socks together. So that's 2 pairs of socks for Miss Roxy, and I am going to try and do a third. I'm not sure what yarn. I need to look at what I've got, and I have 3 days until July 1st, so I'm going to try and crank those out before July 1st starts, because then I will have some new projects, which I'm about to talk about. The first project that I cast on was not an intended cast on. But I decided to cast on a number of people, spearheaded by Laura Lala from the Knit Girls, are casting on Love Wins project in honor of the Supreme Court declaring that gay marriage is constitutional and that it cannot be banned, because it is a constitutional right to marry. And everyone was so excited. The decision came down on Friday, the 26th of June. And it was just a really, really great day. And everybody wanted to cast on in rainbows. So I looked in my stash for something that I had wanted to cast on for a while. And the pattern is Zigzag Scarf by Christy Cam. Sorry, lots of patterns and names today, so I have them all written down. And it calls, I think it calls for baby Millefiori yarn or something like that. But I had wanted to do it in Noro, because it is a cool chevron pattern, and I thought the color repeats would be nice. And I have two colors, and Noro actually does their colors in numbers. So I have color S272, which is greens, turquoises, some gray and black. And as you can see, I have some yarn barf. And then a rainbow colorway, S87, and as you can see, that is just all the colors of the rainbow, and I thought that those would look really, really nice together. I'm not super far into it, so the full rainbow is not super apparent, but like I said, it is a chevron zigzag where you alternate the colors every 2 rows, and I think it's going to be really fun and rainbowy as time goes on. You can see I've gone from turquoises and greens and even just a little bit of pink down here in the corner into the yellows, and the cool thing about this pattern is that it's just 1 row. You do the same thing every single row through the pattern, so it doesn't matter where you put it down or pick it up. So this is my Love Wins project. I don't expect to get through it super, super fast. I'm just going to work on this in my spare time, but I really wanted to cast on something in honor of such a memorable day. And like I said, this was a project already in my stash that I really wanted to do, so I was excited about it. So that is my Love Wins Zigzag Scarf, and that is living in my Naughty Gnome Crafts project bag with the matryoshkas, and I absolutely love this bag. So, and it is perfect. It's got just enough room for the 2 balls and the shawl. So that is what's going on there. So I will talk to you now about what I'm going to cast on for July 1st. As I've told you before, I am participating in Camp Loopy this summer, but I am camping from home using some stash. And I recently saw the challenge for this one is to make something that you've seen somewhere, either on Instagram or on Pinterest or on Ravelry, or it can pretty much be from anywhere. And I saw this pattern a few weeks ago and really kind of fell in love with it. It is called Wonderland Tank, and it is by Nicole Montgomery. It is a paid for pattern. I believe it was $5.99. And it is for this tank top, and I don't know how well you can see it. The top is the very top up by the shoulders is one color, and then there is a band of color work, and then the bottom is another color. It's really hard to see. In her version, the top is gray and the bottom is purple, which is why they're kind of running together. And it is a beautiful tank top, and hers actually calls for sport weight, and I'm going to do mine in fingering, so it will require a little bit of math. But it's a great pattern. It's got charts for the colorwork band, and then it has also got a schematic, which I'm going to use to do my math. And so the colors that I am doing on the very top, I am going to do Wool Mize Pure 100%, and this is in the fuchsia colorway. And the screen is sort of picking it up okay, but it is kind of a glowy pink. It looks a little bit more red on the screen. And then the bottom is going to be a dark chocolate brown, which is Ebenholz. So, and this is not going to be the perfect color representation. I will take some photos on Instagram. But those are the two colors that I'm doing. I believe it starts bottom up, so I will be working on a chocolate colored tube next week, honestly, because we won't see anything exciting, at least for the first week or two. And then I have still not completely decided what colors I'm going to do the color work in. I'm still debating that, and so you will see those a little closer to when I get there. But again, that is going to be the Wonderland tank in fuchsia and Ebenholz, and a few other colors to be determined for the color work. But I am super excited about that, and I am ready for my July 1st cast on. So that is the knitting for today. I did do a few more circles as the centers for my Cozy Memories blanket, but I haven't actually added them to the blanket yet, which is why I'm not talking about it today. So let's move on to the spinning. 2 weeks ago, I showed you some beautiful braids that were from the Droll Eclectic Superwash Merino, and they were in the Rocket Pop colorway. They were bright red at one end and turquoise at the other end. And last week I had one of the bobbins done and was working on the second bobbin, and then I got delayed this week and plying took a whole night, probably 3.5 hours. I plied on my mini spinner so that I could get one big 8-ounce skein, and it is done. And these are perfect Rocket Pop colorways. We've got the bright red and the turquoise and the white in between. And then there are sections of overlap where it's very pinkish and where it's very kind of pale blue turquoise-ish. And this is super fun yarn. I'm very excited with how this came out. I got somewhere north of 500 yards, and I would say it's probably mostly a sport weight, possibly a few sections of DK. This was a spin for a friend. It was a custom spin, so this one will not be going in the shop. This one will be mailed out to her this week. And I'm super excited to have that done as well, because it's been a few weeks and I felt like I need to get it out of the house and back to her. And I hope that she will enjoy it and it will grow up to be something super special. That is that one. Last week I showed you a braid of 2F by hand in bright pinks, aquas, a little bit of yellow, some gray. It was 2F by hand and it was a Polworth in Moon Pie. I do not have that one to show you because it is in progress on the wheel. I am hoping to maybe, if I'm really good this afternoon, finish all the singles so that I can ply it up tomorrow. That one will be going in the shop, so keep an eye on Instagram for photos and notice when it goes into the shop. This week also is going to mark the start of Tour de France, which means it is also the start of Tour de Fleece. I believe I talked a little bit about this. Tour de France obviously has been going on for a very long time, the bike race in France during the summer. And it runs this year from July 24th through July 26th. Usually there are 2 rest days in there. And since 2010, I have been participating in Tour de Fleece, the sort of contest or spin along on Ravelry to spin along with the Tour de France. And I usually watch the tour and spin, and generally during the month of July, I do very little knitting because I spend almost all my time spinning. And I am hoping to an extent, do that again. I suspect July, the only thing I finish will be the Camp Loopy project because that will be my focus for the entire month. But I am also super excited to start some spins, and I pulled in one of the spins that I'm going to be doing over Tour de France, Tour de Fleece. I actually pulled out, I believe it's either 9 or 10 braids, and generally I do finish 2.5 pounds during the tour. And I don't know how that's going to go this year because we'll have visitors and I'll be doing some traveling, but I'm also planning to take my mini spinner with me. So I am hopeful that I'll get lots and lots done. For me, I am going to spin a sweater quantity of Hello Yarn for a sweater to be knit in the fall, probably during Nanny Swaymo, which is National Knit a Sweater Month. And I will show you that. I brought that to show you today. It is in the colorway Waterweed, which this fiber is a merino black silk, which is what you can see in there. So the black obviously didn't take the color like the rest did, so it gives it a really kind of mottled tweedy look, I think. And then it is blues and turquoises and greens, and then just a little bit of kind of a yellowy, olivey, maybe a little bit yellow or brown. And this is beautiful. This was a club offering. I'm trying to get it to show like the best colors, maybe like that. It will be on Instagram as well. And this was a club offering, and the second I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to order extras. I need a sweater. And so I have 5 of these, and I am going to spin it for a sweater quantity, hoping to get, my guess is between 1,200 and 1,500 yards. The sweater that I want to knit calls for worsted weight, but it is easily adaptable, so I probably will end up spinning it closer to a sport DK weight and then just making up the math. So this is what I'm going to spin for myself during Tour de Fleece, and actually I might start this braid this week. I have 4 more to be spun during the tour, so I might dip in a little early and start that this week. I will also be alternating my sweater spin with a bunch of single braids, so expect to see more things for the shop. I have at least 3 or 4 braids that I want to finish during this time that will go up in the shop. Most of them are Southern Cross Fiber in a variety of fibers and colorways. So there will be pictures on Instagram, and I will be podcasting and showing you my progress as time goes on, but expect to see lots of spins in the next couple weeks and not as many knits. So that kind of brings me to the end of everything that I have prepared. As a final note, there are only 2 more days left in the Spring into Summer Knit Along. There are prizes for that I will announce next week during the podcast. So be sure to go and post photos of your finished objects in that thread. That thread will be closed on July 1st, and I will draw with the random number generator for prize winners. Again, we have a yarn prize and a fiber prize, and if you win the fiber prize, you can either have the fiber or you can have me spin it up for you. So that is the show for today. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend and looking forward to a great week ahead. Thank you for spending time with me today and listening to what I have to share. As always, if you have questions for me, please leave questions or comments on the video here, or come over to the Ravelry group. Come join us over there. There is an Ask Me Anything thread. So I will say, as I always do, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.